Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Welcome. I never know what Mega Random's going to give us. Guys, this is a treat. I said last week that I really wanted to incorporate more sudden death. I find the game mode entertaining. And so we have 8 players. There's 8 TCs, and that's all there will be, at least at most. The goal here in this game mode is for these players to build up armies and siege and try and take out the other's town centers. So let's get the introductions in. In the gray, we have Paul Hockey 77 playing as the Lithuanians. In the blue, we've got Vic MJ playing as the Portuguese. In the purple, we have Ploof, the Boring Dragon, playing as the Turks. In the green, we've got the Varyon playing as the Ethiopians. On the red, we've got Strode playing as the Spanish. In the orange, we've got Smurfy McSmurfface playing as the Tatars. And then last but not least, we've got Alpha Spud playing as the Poles. It went random Civ. These Civs are so solid, have so many fun bonuses that could come into play here. I honestly feel as though it could have been Pick Civ. They could just lie to me. The only one that's a little questionable would maybe be the Tatars, because they don't get Bomber Cannon. I think every other Civ does.
Yes, no.
And I think Bomber Cannon can be helpful. But Tatars do have Trebs with the most range. And I would love to see that. I doubt we'll see the range utilized because it's kind of expensive and one town center economy is tough. But hey, that's why you've got some water here. So if they scout this properly, players could have a pond. Orange and teal could take the pond in the south. Blue and purple or magenta could take the pond in the north. Hopefully they don't dock there. I've seen it happen. I may or may not have done that before. And then the other players could maybe take the pond in the middle. And also, I think we've got some higher rated players here. If I'm not wrong, like Strode and Varyon around 1600 elo and 1v1s. They've been around. They've played lots of community games. They've been in some famous moments. Paul Hockey's played once or twice. Alpha Spud's played once or twice. Ploof the Boring Dragons played. I think Budo's been around too. I think Vic might be new. I'm not entirely sure. But, it's later in the day for me at the time of casting this, 7 hours in. I've done lots of introductions and talked about a lot of different things. It doesn't look like there's boars on this map. There's lots of hills.
No.
But, you could see with your own eyes some of these other aspects that I can maybe break down. So we're actually reminiscing a little bit. And I don't know how we got started on this. But we're talking about, pre-streaming things, right? And yeah, I have distinct memories of walking 4 miles to rent a movie my parents told me not to watch or something. It was When a Stranger Calls, a spooky movie, I'm not sure if you guys ever heard of it. And so during the summer, my friend and I, we walked 4 miles to a small little video store. The town I grew up in had a population of 700 people. 1 pizza place, 1 video store, a hardware store, no grocery store, 1 gas station, that type of a place, right? Walked to the little video store, rented the movie, got some chocolate-covered raisins, walked home. I still remember doing that. It's very nostalgic thinking about that. I wouldn't want to have to go to somewhere physically and get a movie now. Even for nostalgia's sake, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, that was normal, man. When a Stranger Calls, I don't answer because I'm a millennial. Okay, well, it's a movie title, okay? Anyways, it's not Diplo in this game, okay? So they can't ally each other, but there might be a little bit of teamwork here or there, depending on what develops in this game. And look at me, man. Look at me. I called it. Did I say Vic was new? I did. He says, this is my first Kami game. I'm slightly nervous. You know what, guys? I've complained about the chat filter in Age of Empires 2 a lot, because sometimes I try and say GG and it bleeps it. I've never once seen anyone get bleeped for saying Kami. I've seen people get bleeped for saying completely wholesome things. Even new people call it Kami games. It just turned into that. Just shortening community. It's funny to me. But nah, guys, they're going to be a little stressed. They know people are going to watch later. I'm trying to think about which position would be best. I don't like Orange's position because he's too close to water, I actually think that could hurt. I guess that is consistent for all the players in the north and south. I think maybe I'd prefer to be one of the central players, the players closer to the corners without water. But then again, you are a bit further from docking, which could affect your start. I don't know. Let's see. I remember renting games with my brother, and if we liked them, my parents' friend would pirate them for us on our chipped PlayStation 1. Good times. That's funny. That's a solid friend right there, man. That's a solid friend. Yeah, I don't actually remember renting a lot of video games. I would just go over, like, my best friend today and best friend back then was my neighbor. And so I would just go over to their house because they always had way more games. So I always had, like, a different game to try. But I don't really recall renting a lot. I recall renting movies. That was definitely a thing. But yeah, so Choo Choo Train in chat said that his parents still ordered like physical disc DVDs from Netflix. So I kind of wanted to talk about that. Yeah, I mean, my parents still do the same last I checked. I think there's certain movies or like certain things that they won't upload to their library that they really like. So they're still paying like way more than it is to stream. Granted, Netflix is getting more and more expensive. Just to get the discs mailed in, which is wild to me. I tried to be like, Mom, can I just find it for you so you could, like, you know, get it on a screen instead of having to get the discs? And then instead of fighting it, I just kind of realized they're happy with it. You don't need to try and change them. They're good, you know? And that's really tough sometimes with some things to just be like, I want to just be like, why are you doing it that way? Like, you're making your life so much more difficult. But they're not. They're not, because it's not an issue for them. They're happy to wait like 4 weeks or whatever it is to get their disc. And that is what it is. All right, so I don't think we've seen a whole lot of aggression. Alpha Spuds hit a couple things with his scout. That's pretty much it. A couple scouts hitting. I did see an archer range here for blue. So a sign of that we might see some aggression. And you could just treat this like a 1v1, make some archers, and just start picking off ills. It gets you a lead and could slow them down from being able to kill you later on, right? I just installed a new Blu-ray player at my dad's house like 6 months ago. Well, so on that topic, there is something that I enjoy. Like, obviously, you know, if I watch a movie, I do a lot of, like, just stream it or, like, rent it virtually, whatever. I do still kind of like having a physical disc. I've probably got, like, you know, 50 to 70 Blu-rays or whatever. There's something about popping in the movie, and I don't even know if it's a nostalgia or what, that I really enjoy still. So I can't judge wanting to do that too much, especially if people have accumulated a lot of stuff. But the whole, like, renting discs thing is a bit... It's just... That's still a little bit foreign to me these days. But I guess it's similar. So, Smurfy McSmurfface. Killing the fishing ships here. Who is Smurfy McSmurfface, by the way? Why does this name ring a bell for me other than Smurfy McSmurfface? 3 docks, protecting the fishing ships, weakening Teal's position. Teal won't be too pleased with that. Massive hills between the players, man. Castles and siege, all those things between these players could be really valuable. And we got villagers going to stone now for Vic. Maybe thinking about some organ guns. Think about the unique unit plays we could have, though. We've got Turks for the Janissaries, very common. Where's the Turks at? Ploof. Okay, there we go. On stone. Portuguese organ guns. Crazy, right? I mean, Spanish conquistadors. Like, we've got the 3 most devastating gunpowder unique units. And I'm trying to think, are they the only gunpowder unique units? What's attacking something? What is that noise? Oh my god, I didn't see the archers. It sounded like villagers shooting a boar, but I didn't see a boar. Okay. But yeah, anyways, so we've got those 3 civilizations with gunpowder, which is very strong. Could then get even more excited about the Latest or the Cataphract later, the Olbuk, I mean, the Keshik. The only one that really doesn't like astounds me would probably be the Shotel Warrior.
Yes.
And Paul says, Varian and Strode already fighting. Oh, I didn't realize they're bordering each other. And Strode says tradition. Man, these guys have talked so much smack to each other over the years. There's been so much sass back and forth, and I should have maybe touched on the fact that they were together here. The thing about Varian is anytime there's diplomacy or teamwork, he's not very good at that. He's more of a let me do my own thing type of guy, which is why he's lost a lot of kings in games over the years. Strode is probably had more success in the community style games. But considering it's not diplomacy here, Varian's showing his 1v1 skills. And this is a really nice build order. Fast castle, no fish boom for him. It's going into crossbows here with the Ethiopians. Seems like Strode respects it. He said it's tradition, right? And we're going to have 3 knights here in a second. I mean, the knights, I can't see their upgrades yet. Valley doesn't have much. This is a problem. Strode could be dead. Like, if Strode not having a castle is a problem. And no siege workshop. The monastery opening is a bit weird to me. I feel like you see crossbows, you don't go monastery, you always go siege workshop. But I think a part of him was thinking, let's heal up my knights. And oh boy, not the position for the siege workshop. Strode. Yikes. He's falling apart. Meanwhile, over here, we have some navy from blue killing the fishing ships from purple. Remember, this is sudden death. This is meant to be aggressive. And siege workshop does complete for Strode. That's a positive. He is going to get a relic, so there you go. Knights also go here to pick off reinforcements. Doesn't seem like it's enough. Just walling between these two on this side. Smurfy McSmurfface still fish booming like a madman. And Strode is currently in the weakest position in this game. No doubt about it. And Purple's going to try and fight back on water, it seems. And Purple's got the castle here, which could actually mean pressure on Varian. I think we've got a very nice level here for this game. A lot of different things can happen. Holy archer ranges for yellow. My goodness. We're going to see skirms. Yeah, skirms up on the hill. Nice little box. Wish we could just plop like a king right in there, you know? That'd be pretty cool. Gray's base shape is very interesting. He's making lattice, which is not going to mean good things for the skirmishers out there for yellow. Kind of feel like he just blindly ended up making the skirmishers. I'm not sure if he saw... Well, maybe he saw archers from somebody, but... Hard to protect both sides. Skirmishers might not apply to both sides. And, oh, goodness. Smurfy McSmurfface is also going to be hitting Strode, or at least it seems like it. Varian's 1600 and Strode's like 1450. I haven't kept track. I know Varian's hit 1600. Strode, I think, is a bit below him in level, but I don't think they're too far off. I just think that Varian has just committed everything he can to kill Strode here. Like, he doesn't have heavy eco. It's not bad. But look how much he's sending to gold. It's just, I will kill Strode. That is my only focus. Whereas maybe Strode was building up more for a long-term approach. The most expected result in this situation for me would be Varian's tunnel visions on Strode to kill him. Gets the satisfaction of killing him. And then Strode ends up like staying alive long enough to give Purple an opportunity to kill Varian. Yeah, Strode's like 1700. Okay, gotcha. Well, Spanish is tricky, right? He wanted to go for the castle. He didn't know it was going to be an archer opening until it was too late. But it was... Since this has been aggressive and these guys are high enough level for me to be a little critical, he needed to go Siege Workshop immediately. The monastery really delayed things, and maybe could have gotten some better engagements. And we'll see if maybe Varian's going to follow this up with some forward siege. Ethiopians on a hill, crazy crossbow numbers, great position for him. You've got Strode at 26 villagers, Varian at 25. And meanwhile here you've got yellow. The box has gotten bigger. The box has gotten bigger, man. Yellow's going to try and drop a castle there. That's going to be really important. Meanwhile, we've got Teal, I think, hoping to get through so he could stonewall. And Orange isn't going to have any of that. Finally, the Mass Scorpion defense pays off a little bit here. And Plouffe is actually leaving. Plouffe is not interested in pushing Varian. And Strode, realizing this is not great, he says, well, shall I just call it already? It's not like you can relocate. You're just stuck, right? I mean, you could... I think you could still try something wacky. If you can get a castle down, some petards and siege and whatever else, I think you could actually ruin Varian's day if Varian is distracted on the other side. Sorry, by the way, I didn't show this. I'm not sure if... It looks like this group here killed that villager. And we have Rams and we have Janissaries from Plouffe the Boring Dragon, who is the top score right now. Doesn't know blue is a castle here with the working guns, though. This castle's so important, man. Byzantines are no joke with how cheap their units are and how much HP they have. Extra HP on the TCs and castles really helps out in these types of games. I think Plouffe's going to see the siege, though, and be like, oh, man, are you kidding me? I think I prefer the organ guns simply because the organ guns only cost wood and gold. And it's really hard to get to the Imperial Age when you're making Janissaries. But I think in the straight-up fights, I think Janissaries are the superior unit, so it does depend on exactly how you're playing the game. This hill will be so valuable for yellow if yellow reaches imp. Alpha Spud will be imp in a second. Is dropping barracks? And oh no, you can't put petards in a siege tower. I'm so sorry. I really wish you could. There might be some potential ramifications for competitive play that people wouldn't want, but I mean, no one even uses a siege tower anyways. I mean, come on. If you could put crossbows in a siege tower, you could fit these guys. Or champions. Champions are pretty buff. But it might be a little too memey. I'm not necessarily going to call for the change. Holy skirms. 41 skirms, man. And he's on his way to imp. I don't know where this monk thinks he's going. Obviously trying to go to a relic. He's like, oh, sorry, I got the wrong church. It looked similar. Just changing religions. I should be welcoming of that, but apparently not. I think the siege tower should be a little bit cheaper. Just slightly cheaper. I think it's too expensive to take the risk to try them these days. Lower it by like 50 wood and I like it. I think it's 190 wood or 180 wood or something. Actually, I don't know what I'm talking about. It might be 160. Okay, Varian wants to drop a castle here. If Varian would have been pressured by the Janissaries and Rams from Plouffe, Varian would be dead. He could use the crossbows against the Janissaries, but I mean, there was 3 Rams then. There could be 3 Rams now. It's just Plouffe isn't going that direction. And we have a very defensive castle from Strode. I mean, credit to him for not calling it. Obviously, he's still going to be in a rough spot. I would love to see him try petards and just, like, loop around with petards and run into Varian's base. It'd be so epic. We have Imp coming in for almost everybody here. It's been a very close game. And I think that Smurfface's score is due to the fishing ships. In the middle and on the outside. On a 1 TC start, that's what you want to do. Look at this. TC walled up even. No, Strode, don't resign! Well, I mean, we knew you were dead, but he would have had the castle. He doesn't want to try it, and he just calls it. I would have loved to have seen him just make 10 petards. Obviously, he's soon going to die, right? So it might not work, but just try. It might have taken him too long, though, to be fair. Yeah, I think if Varian would have gone directly towards him, which Varian probably would have, he might not have had the time. Like to see a little bit more fight, but I understand it. Varian wins the 1v1. I'm sure he'll brag about that for the next 3 years. Or until the next time these two are in the same community game. Man, castles at the bottom of the hill feels a little rough. But Latus with 2 relics collected feels pretty good. Blue and purple still fighting over the northern ponds. I want to see the Tatar Treb range just rain down hell upon Teal's TC from back here. We've got Keshiks and a couple Lancers in the mix. Really cool looking army, I have to say. Keshik is also a really underrated unit. I think if the Tatars were played a little bit more frequently in tournaments, I think that people would realize that the Civ is... I don't want to say that the Civ is busted. I think the Civ's interesting. What I like about them is how you could play crossbow with them, but then you can't go arbalest, and there's just a lot of awkward thing. Oh my god, the Trebs are here from Teal. Yellow calls to GG. I saw that. You guys saw that whole thing. That was very eventful. 2 people down. But anyways, Keshik is so cheap. It's so cheap. And yeah, they're basically paladins. And they give you a little bit of gold trickle, which might not be that big a deal, but still. Like, someone tell me how much gold a Keshik costs. I think it's like 40 gold. It's incredible. All right, Varian trying to push. What he didn't expect was the bombard cannons. What Plouf didn't expect was for there to be that many crossbows. So, looks like Varian's gonna... his push is gonna stall out here. He has lost some crossbowmen here, but he's also taken out all the Janissaries. He's also taken out the bombard cannons. Here comes some Trebs from Smurfy McSmurfface. Slightly disappointed. No, he has it. He has 18 range. With 18 range, if he knew the TC was there, he could kill it. He has simply gone for the castle instead because he knows that's there. Wow, it's amazing that he got that upgrade. He's losing some of his Trebs, but now there's a hole that he can run through. And especially with Lancers, which don't... The Lancers are a great unit if it's tough to path because they're always hitting from one range. These things are going to be able to get through. Holes, they're famous for a lot of things, but they don't get Halb. Only having pikemen could be an issue for them. Okay, I thought it's been a long day, and I thought something was happening there that wasn't. Update on Varian. Varian still trying to push. Varian losing another Treb to a bombard cannon. Must be very frustrated with that. And now at this point, the Tatar players should know the TC is there. And this should be the end for Alpha Spud. Now this Treb should be able to make it. And Cavalier spam simply not enough here. The Keshiks aren't elite. But the Keshiks are still a solid enough unit with solid enough upgrades. Gray and blue will be interesting. Blue's going to push towards purple because they had a spat earlier. Gray already knows that yellow's gone. So knowing that yellow's gone is going to tell him to go the other direction. So we could have a world where blue's hitting purple and then blue gets surprised. This has been a very good level, guys. Like, the level of play here has been really solid. Obviously, it was a random system that selected this, but it all feels like the level's quite strong. And yeah, that little wall there from orange is pretty much going to destine teal to be finished off, I think. Because assuming these Trebs actually go for the TC, that'll be the end of teal. And that's what you need to be doing right now if you're Smurfy McSmurfface. Walling where he can. Castles everywhere. Orange is currently my favorite to win this game. But we'll see. We'll see if Keshiks are enough. We'll see if people can surprise. It feels like Varian wants to take the resources inside of Strode's base, which makes sense. But he is losing ground. Oh, man. This is going to be interesting. Having to give up the hill hurts so much here for Varian, but he's got so many arbs. Oh! He's got to let your Janissaries do the work here if you're purple. Oh, man, he got too excited. He got too excited, and this should be a nice little clear up for Varian. And he actually can approach the top of the hill as well. I think blue got distracted by the attacks over here. And Ploof, the boring dragon, falling apart. At the very least, you just got to fight and kill something there. And so now I'm pretty confident Varian can push. I'd like to see some of his own bombard cannons, honestly. Good opportunity for Gray to make a move, but Gray's being pretty patient about the whole thing. Somehow Teal's still not dead. I don't understand. Does he realize, though? I don't think he knows. He's stuck. Orange played it perfectly with the walls. Well played. And GG did you, Teal. Teal had a good game. Obviously was able to kill yellow. I was a little disappointed. I wanted to see how many skirms yellow could make. He ended the game with 60. Ooh, Gray could get that relic. That'd be really nice. Pretty soon there's going to be 4 people left. Because purple's going to be gone. And then that's going to leave 2 people who are bordering each other. And that's going to be blue and that's going to be Gray. And Gray just walked out here and made an outpost. Does not know where the TC is, but there's no walls. I mean, Latus could probably do it himself. Purple says 2v1 me. I'm so stressed already. It's tough in this game mode, but if you think back to it, Ploof, you attacked blue, didn't get the job done. You attacked Varian, didn't get the job done. You've kind of angered these people. And with an interesting strategic move, Gray says, how is life, blue? Want to be friends. Which you can do. It's not an actual Diplo game. The fact that Gray is saying this, though, is interesting because he's in a position to kill blue. Like, blue's pushing. He could easily kill blue right now. This should tell you what it's like from a player perspective. Gray says, are you fighting orange? He doesn't know. He has no clue who blue's fighting. Varian is he aware of what's happening over here? He obviously knows where orange is. He knows where blue is. Okay. And yeah, Ploof. I think Ploof's only way to do this would be pulled. Like, you have to avoid the army, right? Accept that you're going to die. Avoid the army and then use your bombard cannons and just roll in here. Just be bold and try and take out someone's TC. But probably a little too late. There's a massive army here. Ploof says, I hope my crappy play entertained you. Well, you're not dead yet. Spoilers. Come on, Ploof. We thought we were going to have an epic comeback from you with, you know, all this army surrounding you. What are you doing? But yeah, well played, Ploof. Like I had said, it's a cutthroat game mode. Started an attack against blue, started an attack against green. Weren't able to finish it, and a bit tricky at times with the army as well. Varian. So Ploof says blue is going to get me, and Varian says mean old blue. Varian's like, anything I can say to get the target off my back next. Because now blue's the bully, and now Gray might be like, not sure I want to be friends with this guy. Blue says twice I didn't do nothing, smiley face. Yep, don't believe it. What's orange up to right now? Oh my god. Orange just played super well. Like, Smurfy McSmurf face. It seems like he's... I don't know what his elo is. But his elo is pretty freaking high, man. He's got heavy Cav Archer, full upgrades with Tatars. He doesn't have Elite Keshik yet. But he's got the Trebs ready, and I mean... I don't know if Varian can necessarily deal with this. That army count is insane. Blue says, I'm really scared of Varian. He's the biggest concern. But he hasn't seen orange yet. And for Varian, he wanted to just take these resources. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for him to start losing these castles simply because he'll have a heads up of what's coming. But he's going to need a lot more army than what he has right now. We've got 3 players over 80 army at the moment. Look at this. Holy organ guns. 62 organs with bomber cannons. So somewhere Strode is like rooting for orange and rooting for blue and wanting to see Varian go down. Gray could swoop in and take this win in some way, shape, or form. Is he about to make a move versus blue? Nice little Keshik raid here. Orange slowly making a move. We'll take Varian off that gold. Varian's got way too much to deal with. You just simply cannot deal with this on your own. You just needed to somehow be prepared for it. This is just a 2v1 that I can't give any tips for you. Gray's making a move versus blue. It's blue's first community game. First rule of community game. Trust no one. Goodbye. And I don't think this message actually went through because he was already dead, but he said, WTF, Gray. I can't really blame Gray that much because the opportunity was just so obvious. Man, that was a total jerk move, frowny face. But blue also has a right to be upset. And Paul says, sorry, too many organs could kill me quick, which I think is fair. I think that's completely fair. You're playing to win here. This is not a Diplo game. While there was some type of an alliance, it's not Diplo. Holy crap. Remember, Tatar Cav Archers will have 7 Pierce Armor if they're fully upgraded. He actually doesn't have the final armor, but still look how good they are against Ethiopian Arbalest. Varian holding now, and this army won't actually advance much further. So, you know, Varian, he survives because of the fact that Gray ended up going for blue at that time. If he would have waited, if Gray would have known, I think he would have waited too. But if you had an idea that blue is that close, I think, you know, you wait a minute, you kill blue while blue's on the way back with the organs. Changes the game completely. Gray has 103 army. I'm looking to see if there's holes. Like, okay, you know what's gonna happen? I think I'm wrong on my prediction. What I was gonna say is when these villagers finish mining this, they will walk through that gate and they will go to this. But that is stone and this is gold. If this was gold, the villagers would absolutely walk in and out, which would allow Gray an opportunity to run through the gate. But Gray doesn't even see any of that. What would really be nice is a dock and a bunch of transports, and then you bring everything over onto the shoreline. Yeah, Gray could rush to Varian's TC, but he doesn't... Like, vision is really tough in these scenarios, so he doesn't actually know where certain things are located. Varian, with those machine gun arbs, backs away, just wants to take out the castle. Let's look at the stockpile of res. Tons of gold for orange. Tons of gold for Gray. Varian with 24 on gold, but he hasn't banked a lot. Varian also 16 on food. So I think switching into Halb isn't super realistic. He does have some. But probably needs to try and fix that. And to be fair, like, Varian's just been attacked a lot. I thought defeated players' units didn't attack anymore. What's the deal? Did that change? I like the fact they do. Varian won't like it. Look at these organs. Hussar upgrade now in for orange. It's a good move there. I guess he didn't have silk armor or something earlier. So now he's got the crazy pierce armor on the Hussars as well as the Cav Archers. Yeah, the Ethiopian Arbalest fire really fast, Ploof. I think you kind of had a bit of anti-micro where you maybe clicked a little too much with your Janissaries. Sometimes you just got to let the range do the work for you. But it was always going to be tricky, I think, because of numbers. This is kind of funny to watch. All right, Trebs with 19 range. Tatars, let's go. I still kind of have a love-hate relationship with Tatar Trebuchets because of... Whoa, what's that? A couple villagers went down, maybe? Sorry, Orange, don't like Vills there. I don't know where they were. I apologize for not showing it. Ooh, man. I know that Tatar Cab Archers and Hussars are strong, but it, like... I just can't not love the Arbs from the Ethiopians. Tatars on the hill, though? Oh, that changes things. They do more damage from on top of the hill, so now they're taking less damage, and now they're on top. That's a good way to do it. Suddenly, I don't like the Arbalest anymore. Look at the HP difference. That includes Varion's Trebuchets. Varion's toast there. Sheesh. Random gray. Oh, what the? I guess he was Portuguese. That's funny. I was going to say random gray villager gets shot. And Orange says, so is there Wonder Victory? If there is, Gray's going to try it after you saying that. Because I think Gray has the res. Yeah, Gray could do it. There's only one way to find out. I don't think there is. I don't really want that for this game either. But someone placing a wonder would tell them immediately because there will be a wong. There will be a noise. That's the best reenactment I can make of that noise. Hussars coming into raid Varian, which isn't going to make life any easier when defending against Orange's push. Orange says, well, it's standard, not conquest, which is fair. Then Wonder Victory should work. The fact that Gray hasn't dropped a Wonder immediately after Orange's inquiry is just baffling to me. It is Wonder Victory because you could see the percentages popped up here for us. I mean, Orange literally said it to everybody. Gray, you're untouched at the moment, buddy. You should be making your own Wonder, or you should be going to kill Orange. We might have a defend the TC and Wonder situation here, and Gray says, well, I guess it is. I mean, Gray might not want to win with a Wonder, to be fair. Varian, you got that question mark? He has no clue. You know, Varian, he doesn't have much time to live. He definitely doesn't have that. Okay. I mean, the Wonder's also not being built with all the villagers. I mean, these guys are all great players. When it comes to Wonders, not impressed. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it, man. It takes so long to build the Wonder, and then there's such a long countdown afterwards. But I guess, you know, maybe you don't feel like that's actually the way you're going to win this game anyways. No real way for Varian to be sneaky here either. Like, if he had bombard cannons, I would say try and loop in. Wouldn't that be epic? From his point of view, he can see this. That's kind of funny. But he could, like, maybe... I guess there's walls, but there's a way. I still think Gray's best way of winning this game, as Varian's getting raided and Gray is trying to get a response from Varian, I think Gray's best way of winning this game would be using the transports. If he transports the units there, it'd be awesome, but he doesn't really know that. I can imagine Varian's response will not be the quickest here. But Varian didn't see Gray's question earlier. He says, not really, bud, as he's just lost like 60 villagers. And he could lose his TC as well if the Treb would actually go after the TC. And so, Gray, you're on a little bit of a timer now. Orange hasn't killed Varian yet, and kind of wasted his opportunity to do that there with his one Treb. What does Gray see? Let's go to Gray's point of view. He sees more walls, but you see water. Again, so easy for us while we're casting to say or while I'm casting. We'll say we. You guys really contribute the best ideas. It's very easy from the outside to say go for the transport ship. I think it takes a lot of experience. seeing it dozens of times, trying it dozens of times. And Paul says he has a bunch of walls on my side, not realizing this is about to be a 1v1. Guys, there is a unit that I want to see in the future, okay? And I think it would genuinely be a necessity for Orange, and that is the Flaming freaking Camel. The Flaming Camel is so strong. It's like a demo against ships on land when it comes up against cavalry. And with 100 Latus, you will need some Flaming Camels here if you're Orange. He'll be able to make Flaming Camels because he researched the tech that gives him Treb range. Don't ask me why the tech that gives you Trebuchet range also gives you access to Flaming Camels. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but that is the way the game works. Will Orange know that Flaming Camels are strong, though? And will he finally kill Varian? Varian's still not really making any aggressive moves. Probably cursing his luck that he got hit by blue when he did, and that Orange has been this strong. Okay, Wonder's at 80%. Here come the Latus. Can delete it if he wants his Orange. So Orange doesn't really want to win with the Wonder. Gray says, sure, yeah, I'd love for you to do that. Dude, don't delete the Wonder. Okay? I mean, that's quite a flex, so congratulations if you can get away with it. Don't do that. I think you take the fight if you're on the hill. And you just roll in with the Trebs and hope to find the TC. Your Trebs are your scout right now. But I don't know what your resources look like if you're Gray. Okay. Oh my god, the Wonder gives him vision on the TC. You can't make that up. Chose the wrong spot for your Wonder, bud. But Gray, defend your Trebs. Defend your Trebs from the random Hussars. Oh, what's happening? Wait, don't go for the Wonder. Go for the TC, Gray. What are you... Is he distracting? Meanwhile, Varian's still alive. Here come the Trebs. Orange is so distracted by the latest. And Gray's just committed. GG, Orange. GG. Orange played a perfect game up until this point. I just don't think he saw the Trebs. And I think he tried to say OMG lol. Forgot about how this works. Whoa, dude. Dang. Well, that was way easier than I expected. The Wonder immediately is then destroyed. I am a little shocked by that. Varian. Oh, Varian, kill the Treb. Kill the Treb. Dude, no. Repair. One more volley. No way. That final volley would have killed Varian. Orange would have killed him from the dead. Sheesh, man. Okay. Well, that was incredibly close. This is a very difficult game mode to play. Let's look at the stockpiled resources right now. Varian, 1,400 gold, 2 on food, 8 on wood, and the wood is being put into repairing the TC. He doesn't have a lot. I think it's just going to be such a tough task for him to get to Gray. Gray's got enough resources where this has to be a victory, surely. And oh my god, that orange villager. It's like he knew this was going to happen. That orange villager is actually holding open the gate. You cannot make this crap up. That is an enemy, and Gray needs to go through, and Gray's like, thank you. I appreciate that. Again, the orange player is defeated. Gives Gray a little bit of assist from later on. Or for later on. And then just Gray keeps walking. And I think he's just going to go kill green now. Because he can pass through. Gray, he seems to be waiting at the moment. He doesn't know exactly where Varian is. He says, last chance to flip me for it. And Varian, I think, he's known that his time is near. He says, I'll flip. Okay, I'll flip all day. He's like, give me a flip. Give me a flip, please. Well, the latest should melt this TC, right? Like, earlier it was, what, 4 shots against Blue's TC? This unit's just insane. And that's going to be the end. Paul Hockey wins the game. Blue might be a little salty about how things went down. But Gray recognized I can't actually keep that alliance with blue. He went in and he sniped blue. He then ended up getting over here and sniping orange in pretty bold fashion, right? Like, how many times in these games have I just said, guys, just send the trebs. Even if you end up losing the trebs, if you've got enough of them and you've got volleys and then you're on the hill as well, you might end up getting the TC. I liked it. Orange, a little bit of a brain fart, obviously. And then from there, I mean, green was already so damaged from the earlier attacks from purple, blue, and orange that it was a pretty easy snipe. But that was fun. I really like sudden death. This map was interesting. And I think the way I would sum up the like how this game played out for me is you need to ensure that when you go to make a move on somebody and you're committing, right? You have to make sure you get the kill. You're both investing lots of time, APM resources into the attack. Anytime there was like a real 50-50 in this game, it was just so bad for both players, right? Like purple went up against blue, invested, didn't get the kill. Then Varian gets a bit of an edge. Then purple starts to push back. Then Varian pushes back, then blue comes in. It just, whereas like over on this side, I guess, teal maybe wasn't the best example, but he made sure there wasn't a lot of resistance from yellow, and he was able to make it a 1-2 punch. Gray was able to make it a 1-2 punch. I think that's the key. Really good civilizations for this map. Like I said, Tatars would maybe be one of the weakest because they didn't get bombard cannon. But then again, you've got all the hills, and you do all the damage on the hills, right? I assume these guys went random civilization. It was really good for random civ. In the end, Varian killed more units. Gray killed 51 units, but he took out how many TCs? 2? 3. 3 TCs. 3 out of the potential 7 isn't too bad, if you ask me. Economically, I am curious. Yeah, he also had more. Not more gold, but ended up having more food and more stone. That's a lot of stone. Dang. Seems like he probably stole someone's relics at one point. No. I think Smurfy McSmurface just had more gold because of taking all the gold from over here. There was a lot of gold and he had expanded really well. A fun game. People on YouTube, let me know what you think about sudden death. I like it a lot. This one felt really high level. Like it felt like everyone in this game was 12 or 1300 elo or up at least, which is kind of rare. So it did feel like there was a lot of skill elements to this map. All the hills and the water. Whereas like some sudden death games are a little bit more gimmicky and the real crazy off meta stuff can happen, but that just comes down to the map. GG.